So for the past few weeks now, and a lot of us are obviously aware of, is this pandemic of the coronavirus. I'm very aware of what it is. It's basically essentially attacking the respiratory system, and a very deadly disease for sure. Thousands of people died from it. I'm very aware of this, and it's scary to think about, and I can see why people panic. And when I first heard about it, yeah, I was nervous, and it's just one of those things that you it's not it's you can't seem to be in control of it by yourself. It's one of those things where you try to tell everyone to take shelter now, to do all this stuff, go hoard up items, and it's crazy. I'm fully aware that this thing is very deadly. It can be very deadly for a lot of people. Now, not all people, but it's one of those things. Like, again, panic is very likely to happen from some people. I want to spread this vibe, this message to you right now. Back in 2018, my room, there was a mold growing in there, a bacteria of some kind, and it started to get worse. It was growing more, or I was getting sicker and sicker. At that point in 2018, I felt physiologically very sick. I couldn't think straight. I had this intense anxiety in my body, like I was dying. I had asthma attacks, asthma-like symptoms. I had constant headaches. Probably some migraines too. And I felt like I was just dying. I didn't know what to do. I was always in this survival mechanism, like fight or flight, constantly. And so I went to these two, I went to a chiropractor, and then I also went to a craniosacral therapist, muscle testing basically, to see if I was testing for, because the things that bacterial infections and viruses have, specifically coronavirus, they both involve inflammation. They both link with inflammation. And so I went to these therapists. One, the chiropractor, working on me for muscle testing, and he had come to find out I was exposed to toxic mold, and I need to be out of that room ASAP. And I also went to the craniosacral therapist, and my muscles were just so tight. I was so tight, I literally felt like I had no control of just being calm in my head. And so, months afterwards, I went to these people for a while. Still felt like I had no help. But then this one guy online, I found out, my craniosacral therapist told me, while she's working on me, you need to start to deeply breathe in. Because a lot of the time, even back in high school, I felt like I was shallow breathing for a long period of time. And it built up into this tightness, this inflammation. And I felt like I was dying. And I found this guy by the name of Wim Hof, the Iceman, online, breaking multiple world records involving cold exposure and deep breathing techniques, where you deeply breathe in from your diaphragm and then into your chest, and then deeply out. Or no, just slowly out. Don't force it out. And you do that 25 to 30 reps, 3 to 4 rounds, however many you need. I've done that for the past year, almost year and a half now, and I can tell drastic differences beneficially. And I'm at a point now where I've dealt with so much fear in my life, and I feel like I've had these grudges and hate towards people. Like, I blame them for making me this tense and all that. But now I realize I gotta let go of all that hate, grudge, because that would have ultimately killed me. Literally. Now I'm at a point where I'm hearing about this deadly coronavirus that people are talking about. And I can say right now that as aware of how I am about it, I'm not worried one bit about it right now. I'm not worried one bit about it because I know ways to mitigate it. And it's related to your respiratory system, so which is also linked to the immune system. And cold exposure and deep breathing help with healthy blood flow, better oxygen support, and better to strengthen the immune response, like a lot of people talk about. I can't guarantee you this stuff is the granddaddy or the mother or the king of all answers, or the queen of all answers, or the root of all problems. But I can say to you right now, even that there is no hope to lose in this crisis. You have no hope to lose right now. I'm not worried one bit about this coronavirus. I'm not worried one bit. I'm going to still focus on doing the things that are in my control and to strive for my best self, to be my best self, to stop comparing against almost unattainable things like other people say, like all these comparisons and stuff. Is right now we focus on ourselves, focus on our well-being, protect our family, keep ourselves clean, hygienically clean, and be the best that we can be. Be a decent human being. We're all capable of so much more than we think we are. And I'm not saying this as cliche. I believe it. I believe it. I deeply believe that there's this energy beyond us that we can tap into once we let go of the embarrassing state of mind and to focus on our inner self, our inner being. That there's so many things that can mitigate illnesses. And again, this coronavirus, I know it can be deadly. Yes, people die from it. But again, you cannot panic. Live in the panic state of mind for the rest of your life. Don't be a victim of your reality. Your perception is your reality. And don't be a victim of it. Be a warrior. And wish you all the best.